not often that mobile phones sell out the minute they launch in a country like India. Motorola saw that success with the Motorola Moto G, and now this time around they saw it with the Moto E. The phone launched in India for a price of Rs 6,999 for a 4GB phone which has dual SIM capabilities. If you talk about specifications, the Motorola Moto E comes with quite a decent set. You have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 200 processor which has dual cores, and you have the Adreno 302 GPU. You have a 4.3-inch display which has a QHD resolution, or a 960 by 540 pixel resolution, and the display is fantastic. It has great visibility and is excellent to touch and is very responsive. The battery on the inside is a large 1980 mAh battery, and the device has a fixed focus 5-megapixel camera at the back. The phone is a far cry from many of the other devices available in this price segment. Mostly you see devices that run a non-symmetrical version of Android, whereas the Moto E runs a official 4.4.2 out of the box. That means that you get KitKat on the fly, and Motorola promises update to the next version. As far as build qualities go, the phone is pretty robust. It takes on the design of the Moto X and the Moto G, and it builds off of that. You have a really nice soft touch back panel, which Motorola likes to call as a shell, and these shells are replaceable. You can get them in many colors as well as in a rubberized fashion. So you have a rubberized shell that is available, which makes the device very customizable according to your taste. The Moto E is available in a black as well as a white. And in India, it's only sold from Flipkart's website online for a price of 6,999 rupees. Now, here's the difference in what we feel the Moto E should be and what it is in our country. We feel that the Moto E should be a first possible upgrade for a person who's shifting from a featured phone or a previous generation Nokia or a previous generation BlackBerry and is coming to Android for the first time, or coming to a real smartphone user experience for the first time. The Moto E should be for that person. Now here's what changes this for Motorola as a company. The Moto E is only available online, and most of the users who we think would like to buy the Moto E are not online, and they don't like shopping online. The penetration of the device should be in more areas where there is no connection to the internet. This should be a smartphone available to people who want to buy a smartphone but don't want to spend the kind of money that you would need to for a Galaxy S5, for a Galaxy S4 even, for an iPhone, that kind of money. And for this price, the Moto E is a fantastic upgrade for a smartphone. We're running Android, which is completely pure. We get zero bloatware on the interface. The interface is fast and responsive, and Motorola has added 3 applications that make it really useful for the user. So Motorola Migrate helps you helps you migrate from a previous generation phone to the Motorola Moto E. You also have Moto Alert, which will be really useful for ladies if they're going out. It can be useful for it's an added security feature, so it'll ping your loved ones onto your location, and if you have an emergency, you can send them your location via a text message, which is really great for a country like India where safety is a major issue. You also have an inbuilt FM radio, which will be enjoyed by a lot of people. The battery life on this is phenomenal, so the FM radio can be used for a great amount of time without problems. And the FM radio, we've noticed, does not really utilize that much battery. The Moto Assist application helps you create reminders and helps you do things that you want to. It also sort of silences the phone when you're in a meeting or when you're sleeping. You can set up these things according to your requirements, and then have only people who are important to you call you through. So this Moto Assist application can come in handy as well. That being said, the device has 1 GB of RAM, and it is very responsive for the kind of usability it has. We saw it run absolutely wonderful when playing games like Asphalt 8, something that you do not expect from a device that is under 8,000 rupees. The Moto E has really surprised us when it comes to the performance, usability as well. We saw that it ran a quadrant benchmark quite fluidly, and we got an impressive result from a device that Motorola makes for under 8,000 rupees. Again, thoroughly impressed with the usage, the user interface, as well as the performance of the device. We saw that battery was pretty decent on this device as well, whether you're playing music, whether you're watching videos on the internet or on your device. The battery life is impressive. You would imagine with this device you can run up to 1.5 days on battery without any issues. So you won't be requiring a charger if you are moving about on a daily basis. This phone will not drain out in one day. If you're using this device constantly, you would imagine this run into almost a day and a half before it would require a charge. Talk times are somewhere between 6 to 7 hours depending on network availability and the kind of networks you're on, despite the fact that this device will take in 2 SIM cards. Now you also have features like mobile hotspot that will enable you to connect up to 5 devices to this Moto E and use the internet off of this. Networks are fairly stable and speeds for 3G are standard, so whatever speed your network is providing, you should be able to get that without any problems. Now the device does have a notification LED which is only available for notifications, and it will go away the minute you look at those notifications. Fairly simple, you can turn it off from the settings panel if you don't like it. The device does not support OTG, or it did not with the couple of devices, couple of hard drives and pen drives that we checked it out with, so we will not be able to read off of external devices unless you somehow manage to do it, so you do let us know if it does for you. For us, this device did not. The camera on the back is a fixed focus camera. It's pretty good for capturing images of landscape, and if you're capturing images of something that's far from focus, close-up images are going to be terrible and you're almost going to be struggling to get focus with this device if you're clicking pictures up close and personal. The phone is very responsive. Like I said, the display is fantastic, and if you're messaging, you get to use the continuous input on the new KitKat, which works really well on the Moto E, and you'll be quite surprised with the overall fluidness of the device, especially when you're texting. And once you get used to the continuous text input, I highly doubt that you'll be typing ever again. Now, a couple of things that we feel that the Moto E should have had. First of all, it should have had an LED flash. Not that it would have improved the camera capability quite a lot. I mean, you would have been able to take low light images, or you would have been able to take images in the dark. But for the kind of segment that Motorola is targeting with the Moto E, the phone should have had a LED, because people in India tend to use the LED for a torch more than they tend to use it for a flash of their camera. So a torch in a phone is almost essential for a person who's buying a phone in that category. Not that without it the phone is any less, but the fact that you get an LED flashlight which you can use as a flashlight would have been fantastic on this device. The other thing that is sort of missing is a front-facing camera. Motorola could have easily added a small VGA sort of camera to the device. They didn't. They chose not to possibly save up on costs. And we don't mind the lack of a front-facing camera, because the only thing that you can't do then with this device is initiate Skype calls or VoIP calls, which again would have been a useful feature for this device. All in all, we feel that the Moto E is one of the best devices that you can get in this price bracket. It is superly robust, it is friendly to use, very fast, very responsive, and it will carry out basic day-to-day activities. It will also help you access the internet. It runs almost all applications out of the box. You get Android KitKat and a promised update to the next version. It's splash-proof, it's rugged, it's got a Gorilla Glass 3 in the front. You have replaceable back panels that are soft to touch, very robust build quality and construction. It almost seems impossible to give a device like this for under 7,000 rupees, and Motorola is managing to do just that. We feel that it needs to be available to a lot more people and not just online via Flipkart. And we feel that Motorola needs to bring in a lot more devices, because they got in some 80,000 units that were sold out in a couple of hours. So if this is your first shift to Android, if you're moving in from Nokia's X edition of phones, or if you're coming in from a feature phone and you want a stable, very responsive and a happy Android experience for a budget, the Moto E has to be that device for you. You can check out our different videos for this, as well as we're going to be running a series of tests on the device to see how it withstands various things. So do check that out. Do subscribe to iGyan for more videos on devices as such, and do check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and our YouTube links are youtube.com/iGyan, youtube.com/iGyanTV for iGyan Networks. This is Bharat Markwal. Thank you guys for watching.